going to be another fight on my hands. So she's too sick to lead a normal life that everyone else is getting to lead, but she's not sick enough for half of the things that she needs to make her life better. So if I want her to have a better quality of life, she's too sick to have that to the same way that anyone else could, but she's not sick enough to get the help to make her quality of life slightly closer to where, like, compassion for the person in the wheelchair, because they're going to be safe and taken care of and understood and not belittled, put down, judged. That is why I haven't done my Mia over the last couple of years, because going to get Dawn Louise fitted for a new wheelchair. This will be her third NHS wheelchair, because unfortunately she is getting very tall and very heavy. We are going to have a lot of problems this time, because we need one that's semi-electric, because I am struggling to push her now, especially up hills, because she is my size, as you can see. So we need something that's both electric but also non-electric, so that she can actually sleep in it to regain her energy. So today's going to be different. But that's not the only thing that today is going to be, because today is also Dawny's 11-year font anniversary! Woo! Which can only mean one thing.
It's been 11 years since I've had it since I was 4 years old.
That, and there's one other thing. Presents!
Oh! You know we're going in the lounge thing.
Yes.
I suspected that.
Can you just pretend that you had no idea why I told you not to go in the lounge, please?
Okay.
Thank you. Right. Let's go.
Let's go.
Right, you wait there.
Happy anniversary! 60 colours.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Right, take a seat on the stool. Give me 1 second.
And then blue makes HD ribbon, by
Yeah.
the way. I'm very happy. Oh, it rattled. I'm going to do this one first.
I'm going to sit here so I can keep an eye out for the patient transport, okay?
Okay. Do you want me to open this? It was so hard.
Sorry.
Oh. Heart lights. Perfect. I do like my lights. Oh, they look cute as well. We need batteries for them, probably. Yeah. Daytime fishies. There you go.
Do you know what's crazy? In 6 months you'll be here opening birthday presents when you're 16.
Oh wow. Charms and wishes. I'm guessing it's the type of charm. Wait, is it a ring? Having a daughter like you is one of the precious gifts. Hold on.
Well, don't open it yet, darling.
Okay. That's pretty cute, though. I should buy it. Is it like a necklace or a ring?
Well, we'll find out in a minute, won't you? Keep opening presents. Here's the bin for you, lovely.
Yeah. Oh! This one's probably a necklace. I loved you then. I loved you then, and then I love you still, and I always will. This is a cute charm. I like these charms. I wonder where you get them. I want more. Badges. Right. Oh, these are me. So it goes, kindness, you've got this, and be happy. Little positivity pins. To be fair, I thought it was only 2, but then when there was 3, I was like, oh, you know what I'm going to have to do?
What?
Put on my bag, flag.
Bag, flag? We both did it.
Badge, flag.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, look. Ooh. I want to take the music. Oh my god, it's so cute! It's Angel. gonna find out if it's stitch angel. Teddy now.
Yeah. And she's heart ready.
Oh, the boy.
Right, come on, we don't know how long we have before patient transport. So.
I'm very happy.
I'm glad you're very happy.
Tea. Wait.
How'd you break it off? Oh my god, you broke it out of the packaging.
I don't know. I just picked it up.
Oh
It's
my
like.
gosh.
Wait, LODT lights. Wait. Oh!
There should be like a tab.
That is
There might be
quite.
like a tab you pull out to get them to stay on. Is there like a... Oh, you just switched it on. Oh, okay. I thought you did.
That's quite good though. It has good power.
Yeah. I
I
thought
like
it would help you at night time.
Yeah. I get on my dressing table. What do we play that was? I need to do something about that. Alright, pop that in there. Pop this in the rack in there. Oh. Collectible charm brace necklace. Just for you. So is it where you add...
So you know the accessories that you've got, the charms, you put those on the necklace?
Oh! I did think it was either a necklace or a ring.
Well, I thought a bracelet would be a good idea because you've got really tiny wrists, so I was worried about it falling off.
Yeah.
So I thought a necklace, it will grow with you perfectly fine, won't it?
That would be quite cute.
And it's got a heart on it.
I'm guessing when you have the heart, you can actually put the things on.
Yeah, yeah.
That is so cool. It's like a Pandora thing.
It is, but it's a necklace instead.
Yeah, but it's like my one.
Yeah.
Because I've got like little ones that are like that.
Yeah.
From other sets as well. Oh. Happy heart anniversary.
It's not a card, it's a plaque.
Oh. It looks cute though.
Thank you.
Do you make it?
No.
It looks cute.
I wish I had, but no.
Well, yay! I get my own mug.
Yeah. It would be perfect for hot chocolate season. Lots of rain for whipped cream.
Oh yes. Yay! I have my own cup.
Yeah, you do.
You have like loads of cups from Disney now.
I do.
Right, we're down to the last three. Oh. Oh! Stipper girl! That's quite cute. And it's pink. Oh, pink.
And it's got hearts on it.
Oh yeah! And stars. Pink stars everywhere.
So.
Oh! Heart bedding set. So it's like reversible, so you can have tiny little ones. Or big ones.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm glad you like it.
Right, last one. Oh, it's... Oh my god, it is...
Do you want to open it up? We've got time. They're not here yet.
It's so fluffy! Oh,
Oh
yeah.
no, is it? Oh, it's, oh dear.
It's a fleeky one.
It's a fleeky one.
Maybe not good with my uniform.
No, maybe not.
But you
I'll
can.
run it through the washing machine and actually get rid of all the fuzzies.
Yeah.
Your medicine alert. Have you had it?
Yeah.
Okay. Both, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll mark it off.
I love it. It's so fluffy, but I'm trying not to get... I'm trying to fold it neatly without getting my trousers done. Because I love all of them, especially this one. Because I have like, I want to say like 3 stitches now, and I've not had a single one like these. Because I've got weighted stitch, Disney cruise stitch, and then
Just stitch for fun.
just stitch from somewhere else. And now I have this one, which is basically one, Rachel, and Teddy. I'm very happy.
You're very happy. Happy anniversary, darling.
Happy heart anniversary. Ready? Prepare.
Oh, careful. Oh, my neck. Sit down. Too big. I love you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy
Happy
anniversary.
anniversary.
Happy
Happy
anniversary.
anniversary.
Happy,
Happy,
happy.
happy.
Can you believe it's been 11 years since your last open heart surgery?
Next
See,
year it's going to be 12.
Yeah, I know that last year you weren't feeling up to celebrating 10 years because you had your
Yeah.
cardiac catheter and everything, didn't you?
Yeah, but now I'm all good. So, at least all my tests are like in the future, so you know, I've not had a major one yet.
Yeah.
Don't want to jinx it now.
We only celebrate the big open heart surgery because you've had too many other ones.
Yeah.
She's had 4 open heart surgeries and 8 cardiac catheters, the last of which was in 2023. However, the cardiac catheters, they don't change anything, whereas in the open heart surgeries, they do. And since she's had 4 and the first 3 were in the first 6 months of each other, well, the first 6 months of her life, so they're like in months apart, basically. We'd be celebrating this every few months otherwise. But yeah, because at the start of September was also your Glenn anniversary, which was the 3rd open heart surgery you had. But if we celebrated all of them, we'd literally be celebrating them weeks apart. So we celebrate the last time that she had a big open heart surgery because those ones are the most risky, aren't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're amazing. Warrior, warrior,
Warrior, warrior, warrior,
Right,
warrior.
but now we've got to wait for patient transport. So, since we've got a few
Because we've got to be patient.
So, since we have a few minutes, we'll sit down and explain. So, where we live in the middle of nowhere now, we live in a little town in the countryside, and I don't drive. The only way that we could have got to patient wheelchair services, was a 2-hour bus ride that involves 5 transfers. And
5 for 2 hours?
yeah, it's mental. And the only other way that we could have got there in a taxi, which would only take like half an hour, would have cost me, I think it was like £26.75 or something each way. So nearly £50. No, more than £50. Sorry,
I was
for
going to
one
say
trip.
75.
Which, I'm not being funny, we are boomeranging back and forth from Birmingham at the moment. We can't really afford that right now. We got patient transport services, which we haven't used since we needed to come home from the hospital after surgery. So this is much different, but yeah.
Thankfully, I don't remember it. Otherwise, I'd be like,
Yeah, but it will look like an ambulance probably, but it will not be an ambulance. It will be like a giant van, but it won't be like the square boxy ones. Well, ambulances are the square boxy ones, aren't they? So it won't look like that. It's just a transport thing. But yeah, unfortunately, it's really expensive to get to where this service is, because where we're in a small town, they don't have one in the town, which I wasn't expecting it to be as far away as it is. So I really do need to learn how to drive, but it's then affording obviously cars and keeping up with it and everything, because that's not cheap either. So yeah, it's a bit tricky, isn't it?
yeah.
And Dawney's moving on to PIP when she turns 16, hopefully, if they allow us to, because boy, if some kids with Dawney's condition had to really fight for it. So I don't really know what's happening with that yet. So I don't want to go out and get a car just yet. Well, not that I could right now anyway, but I want to make sure, because if Dawney does get PIP, she can also learn to drive. So in that case, we'd want a car that we can both drive. So yeah, we'll figure it out, won't we?
Yes.
But yeah, you excited for your heart anniversary?
Yes.
I normally make our heart anniversary breakfast as well, but we didn't have time for that. We didn't have time for that.
But
I didn't
I
sleep
got a
very well
headache,
last
so
night
I'm
either.
happy.
I'm glad you're happy.
I also like how he said, Dawney, you need to cut down on your teddies. You have no room. Gain one anyway.
In my defence, I've been holding on to that for some time.
Have you?
Yeah. I always plan these sort of things in advance, but I also didn't want to go crazy because I didn't want it to feel too much like a birthday where you get like big presents. So that's why we go with
To
the
be
heart
fair,
and
I
stuff.
like the mini ones because Deli was like,
Do you want to get your necklace and we'll put it together?
yeah.
Go on.
Well, we're just waiting for the transport, and we just see a collie and a golden retriever, and then later on we see the collie come back and start sniffing, and we think it's lost its owner because there was a family over there and we thought it was with them, but it didn't. It went down like this little alley bit near us, and we were just like, is it lost? And it kept on sniffing around everyone who went. I was like, and then so if it comes back, we're gonna look for it, but we can't really move because otherwise, if the transport got here, we can't really help the dog. So,
So we're now back home. I've just taken Dawn Louise back to school. It is now 1:20. I'm not going to explain right now what happened during the appointment, but I will explain that later. But I just want to say, one of the things that is really hard to explain and understand about this is the fact that I am a full-time carer for a reason. That is because I constantly need to be with Dawn Louise for these sort of appointments. One thing that comes along with being a full-time carer is just the absolute exhaustion from it. So that's kind of what I want to talk about at the moment, is the fact that it doesn't matter how much sleep you get, if you are lucky to get it with their needs being what they are. The mental exhaustion is just something else, because there's just so much mentally that I have to cope with, that I have to arrange. I'm constantly chasing people up. I get very little time to myself. Like, everyone always thinks that it's such a luxury to be at home. I'm trapped here for 6 hours. Like, I can't go anywhere when she's at school. Apart from like a corner shop. I can't go out and do anything that I'd want to do. I can't even go to the cinema because obviously you lose a phone signal, and also how far away it is from her school and her if there's a medical emergency. This is not, time off. I'm very much on call, and my life is limited because of that. But this month is just turning out to be so difficult in ways that I could not have imagined. I was not expecting, when we went to the hospital, to have to keep going back so often. And then on top of that, we've just found out that our kitchen's going to be redone, which is exciting. They're going to do the walls, the floor, the cabinets, everything. However, it's going to take 10 days. And Dawn Louise's needs mean that we need our washing machine and our oven to be able to prepare her, healthy food and things like that. It might not be getting done till next April, so that makes things a little bit better, but it also limits the plans that we already have in place. And again, we don't know how long we've got before she doesn't have any more appointments. We don't know if there's going to be follow-ups, and we also don't know if they're going to do the cardiac catheter, which if they do, I cannot have people coming in and out of this house with their germs and such. So they've actually said that we could get a lockbox and leave the key for them, and they could just let themselves in if we end up being in hospital. But it's like, I don't really want a load of men in my home on their own. To be completely honest with you, that is not something I'm comfortable with. It's just, there's just so much going on. Like, we've got all these hospital appointments. If you haven't watched the previous vlog, I'll leave it in the description down below. But she's having endocrinologist appointments, gynecology appointments, a stress test, an MRI, possible cardiac catheter, and possibly new heart meds. So we've got a lot going on. And 6 months from now, she has her normal cardiac review as well. So within the next 6 months, we're going to have probably an appointment every month. At the moment, we've got them booked in for October and December, so that's already once a month over the next 2. But we've just found out what we found out from the wheelchair people, and that's just so much more stress, because I'll go into it properly in a minute. For you, it'll be in a minute. For me, it's going to be a while after I've sat down and had some lunch, because I am just so exhausted, in all honesty. It's been just one of those days, But we are not getting a wheelchair like we thought we were going to. It's going to be another fight on my hands, so I'm going to have to contact the hospital and try and get them to help. I'm going to have to write down all the things that Dawn Louise struggles with and everything. It's just, I'm tired of constantly fighting for things that she does genuinely need. I had to fight just to get the hospital transport, because we can't take 5 different buses over a two course hour, and it's just, I get why these things are in place, but it's just really hard to be stuck in the point of she's too sick to lead a normal life that everyone else is getting to lead, but she's not sick enough for half of the things that she needs to make her life better. So if I want her to have a better quality of life, she's too sick to have that to the same way that anyone else could, but she's not sick enough to get the help to make her quality of life slightly closer to what everyone else experiences. And it's just something like a wheelchair, I just thought would so basic. Like, we've had 2 from the NHS before. I did not go into there thinking that this was going to be a problem. And like, she's got so big since we last went to the wheelchair place. I am the same height as her, and I am not built of muscles, and I am struggling so much to push her around in that wheelchair. And like, my neighbours, bless them, have come and told me if I need them to help me get her to school in her wheelchair, to tell them, and they'll help us get there, because they saw me pushing up the they saw me pushing her up the hill in her wheelchair and really struggling. Like, this isn't some sort of made up disability. Like, I can give you all the hospital letters. Like, she has half a heart, she has half the energy of a healthy person, she also has 75% oxygen, which would send me into the hospital. Like, you know, it's insane that it is this hard all the time. And I'm honestly just exhausted by it at this point. It's been 15 years of just fight after fight after fight, and like, you think that it's going to be the surgeries that are the last thing, but it's not. Like, every single time that she needs help with something, we have to fight to get it, because nobody thinks that it's as serious as it is. And it's like, when you go into a hospital environment like this, because obviously it is run by the NHS, I just don't expect to have to sit there and like baby explain the reasons why a person who is missing half of one of the body's most vital organs needs so much help. And and it's crazy to me that they think that we've got the money for these sort of things. I'm a full-time carer. I get £83.40 a week as a full-time carer. That's it. It's literally less than a lemon per hour. You know, yes, she gets disability living allowance, but that was another fight that we had. So we only ever managed to get her low rate mobility and middle rate care, despite the fact that this is a condition that is only ever going to get worse. It is a debilitating condition. There's no fix, there's no cure, there's no break. It just gets worse until she's too tired to live anymore. That's the reality that we face, is that we're just waiting for it to get too bad that she can't cope anymore. And yeah, all the things that would be so beneficial to her life, to give her that quality of life while she has it, it's just such a fight all the time. And yeah, anyway, the DLA is just over, it's like £404 now. It was £300, it's gone up slightly recently because of obviously inflation and everything, which sounds like a lot of money, but it's like, we have to go to Birmingham to go to the hospital. The car park alone is £20. That's not including the petrol prices. God forbid if Bob can't come, we'll have to take public transport. And then obviously there's the cost of like the food and drinks and everything, because I mean, yeah, we can like pack a lunch and everything, but we don't know how long we're going to be there all the time, so it's hard to know what to take. And obviously you don't want to be carrying a lot of stuff around when she's constantly getting dressed and undressed to go in between the appointments and everything. And then we need public transport if we need to go anywhere. We need money aside for if we have to go in a taxi to the hospital, because that's nowhere near here. Even the local one, I have to have, you know, the heat and all. It's just, oh God, I could sit here and list stuff for days, but just thinking about it's giving me a headache. It's just so much all the time. And we just never get a break. She never gets a break. Like, it's one thing for me to have to deal with all the mental load, but like, she has to deal with the physical health. And all I can think is that when she's 18, she's going to be expected to fight all these battles on her own, and she does not have the energy for it. Like, she doesn't have the energy, you know, she doesn't have the energy, she doesn't have the concentration. Obviously I'll help her as much as I can for as long as I can, but there will come a time where she's got to advocate for herself, she's got to fight for herself. And as a parent, that is just absolutely exhausting, because how do I even prepare her for all this? Like, no one prepared me for it. I never knew that this is what it was going to be like. I know, I do carry a lot of guilt, because I chose to bring her into this world not knowing how this world was going to treat somebody with her disability, her illness. And it's really hard as a mother to know that I am responsible for this kind of suffering, because I made the choice to bring her into the world. But I never thought it was going to be like this for her all the time. And it's just, I just want her to have some version of a normal life, and a wheelchair can really help with that, because if she wants to go out with like her friends, or like her college campus that we looked around that we might be going for is massive. She was not going to be able to walk between building and building and building. She is going to need a self-propelled wheelchair, which she does not have. And we've just been told we're going to have to self-fund it. And it's like, electric wheelchairs are thousands of pounds. Like, we don't have that kind of money. And you're not actually even meant to save up DLA. So I don't even know how we'd get around using the DLA for it, even if we could. But like, at the moment, like, bills are extortionate. She has so many extra needs, whether it's, you know, thousands of layers of clothing to keep her warm, or hand warmers, and, you know, just, oh God, there's just so much. And it's, I say, you know, you don't know. At one point I will have to sit down and explain everything that goes into this, but it's always a little bit uncomfortable talking about money, because I know that it makes a lot of people uncomfortable, so we don't really talk about it. But at the end of the day, there are so many extra hidden costs when it comes to disability, and I just never thought a wheelchair was going to be one of them. I never thought that they would take that opportunity away from her, when it's so vital to her being able to live a relatively normal life. Like, we're lucky that, you know, where Bob drives, if we're driving places, you know, she's not on and off public transport, so that's conserving her energy. But at the same time, like, say we go to a zoo for the day, we could end up needing to sit down for an hour for her to regain the energy to continue and carry on going around. When she's on trips, like, for example, she did the zoo with the girl guiding trip, they aren't going to sit there with her for an hour to let her rest so that she can carry on. They are going to expect her to keep up with the groups, and the only way that she can go is in a wheelchair. So if she outgrows this wheelchair and she gets offered a trip with college or after school clubs or anything, she would have to say no, because they don't have the time or the staff to sit with her for that long, whereas obviously we can. But it's like, it shouldn't be like this. Like, my child is terminally ill. She is not expected to make it to 20 years old. Now, we do have friends with HLHS who are in their early 20s. It's not impossible, but it is unlikely, because we have also lost way more friends than we still have, you know? And we don't know when it's going to happen for Dawn Louise, but I have noticed that she is really slowing down in recent years, and we are figuring out what that means for her, obviously. But it sucks so much that her life is so limited. Like, we will be really lucky if she makes it to my age. Like, we would be singing hallelujah if she makes it to 32 like I am. And yet, the life that she does have right now is being hindered from lack of help, from lack of understanding, from lack of awareness. And, you know, speaking about girl guiding, you know, they've treated her pretty rough. I don't think they realise how much it's affecting her with what they're doing, because they clearly don't understand what her disability is and haven't bothered to look into it. And they don't realise how limited she actually is in life, I don't think. But that's a thing for another day as well. But yeah, I'm here to rant because I'm home alone, so you're getting the blow back of this appointment, just messing with my mind. And also, it took 2 hours for patient transport to come pick us back up again, so she lost even more time at school, because we can't rely on public transport here, because it's literally like 6 different buses and it takes 2 hours. And on a wheelchair, there's only one wheelchair spot on a bus. If somebody's in that space, because sadly, even though it's the law for, you know, pushchairs to move out the way, they don't. And a lot of people have a problem with this, and a lot of people don't see why they should move and everything, and they don't understand. And it's all well and good saying wait for the next one, but there's so much more buggies than there is wheelchairs. Like, I've got on way more buses and had to get back off again because they've got a pushchair than I ever have with a wheelchair situation. So obviously we could be late for appointments if we're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, but people don't think that disabled people have places to be. It's really hard. Like, I try to stay as positive as I can, and Dawn Louise really helps with that, because she's a very joyful person. I wish I was. And she finds the joy in things a lot easier and a lot quicker than I do, and she can remain more positive than I can. But I just want her life to be easier in any way that it can be. And a wheelchair is one of those. And it's just, I really didn't think that we were going to have to fight for that. I really didn't think that we were going to have to fight for my daughter, who has 75% oxygen and can't walk more than 20 minutes, to actually get another wheelchair. Just, I never thought it was going to be this hard, and she is getting really heavy for me to push now. I mean, I don't know if you've seen me, I'm not exactly built of the muscles, you know, I'm a bit of a stick. So, you know, maybe I need to get a gym membership next, you know, build up the upper body. I'll just look like a weight builder person, whatever they're called. And they'll be like, hey, you look really muscular. Do you do like muscle showing thing? No, push my daughter in a wheelchair. Needed guns. But yeah, don't skip leg day, I'll look uneven. I just really can't believe that it's, I really, really didn't see this coming. And it's like, I've seen it so many times that I feel like I knew what she was thinking, and that was, she was looking at her and being like, you don't need it. But you don't understand. And they don't give you the chance to even try and explain yourself. And what's even more annoying is they're saying that, I was meant to explain all this later, I might as well just do it now, I'm going to sit down, hold on. It just doesn't make sense to me that that's how they're doing it, and the fact they literally called it a postcode lottery. Like, how can you say that people up here, children up here, don't need their wheelchairs, but we got 2 from the NHS when we lived in Portsmouth? Like, how does that, it doesn't make any sense. Like, surely it should be like funding UK wide for certain, like, if all the criteria was the same, fair enough, but the fact that the criteria is different in different areas, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to afford to get her an electric wheelchair so that she has independence, because I'm not being funny. It's not nice for her to be pushed. Like, that's another thing, actually. Whilst we're at this appointment, bearing in mind, this is wheelchair services, right? Why do they have no, like, compassion for the person in the wheelchair? Because she needed to get to the barcode sticker under the wheelchair, so she just starts pulling and spinning Dawnie around in her wheelchair instead of being like, hey, I've just got to do this, whatever, I'm just going to move you over here. Like, they moved her like she was a piece of furniture. And this is exactly why, like, kids don't like being in wheelchairs if they can have a say in it, or at least ones that obviously I've spoken to. I can't speak for everybody, but like Dawn Louise especially, sometimes will fight not being in the wheelchair because of the way that she's treated by people, and this is one of them. Like, why are you pushing her around like a swivelly chair? She's a human and you're moving her. Like, when she is in that wheelchair is an extension of her body. You are moving her body, you are changing what, and like, what if she got dizzy, for example, and you start doing that? That's gonna be like really uncomfortable for her. And they could have just pushed the chair forward a bit instead of spinning it around, because the problem was it was next to where I was sat. So yeah, but I think that she should have at least said, hey, I need to do this, is it okay if I, like, give her some autonomy while she's in this wheelchair, because she is still in it. It's not empty, but they treat it like it is, and that just, I can't imagine how that must have felt for Dawnie, and I'll speak to her about it later and make sure that mentally she's okay. Obviously without giving like the idea that she shouldn't be, but just, you know, was there anything today that upset you or bothered you, that sort of thing, because it's important that she gets to, you know, say how she feels, because a lot of her medical journey she has no control over. So I want to make sure that I am aware of what her needs are in these situations. But honestly, I was gobsmacked that she did that, because I can't fathom doing that to somebody. Like, if you're on like a pavement, for example, and you need someone to move out the way, you don't just grab them and move them out the way, do you? I say, excuse me. So why aren't wheelchair users given the same courtesy? Speaking of wheelchair users, earlier there was 2 dogs. I don't know if my ring camera picked it up, so if it did, I'll get a video. But earlier there was 2 dogs. One was a golden retriever and one was a big collie. And for some reason, the collie had come back, and we think because their owner is in a wheelchair that the collie had confused Dawnie for their owner, because it came over sniffing and like Dawnie like got to pet it and everything, and then it ran back off again, and it was like, oh, wrong one. It was really funny. But yeah, hopefully that doggie's okay. To be fair, there was loads of people around, so it's not like it would have gotten lost, because there was tons of people around that could have obviously got it, but unfortunately the paramedics turned up, so we had to go. Not great timing, but yeah, anyway. Yeah, so basically she said that we've got 2 options. At the moment, Dawn Louise's hips aren't touching the side of the wheelchair, although it's like less than an inch away from it. It's pretty close, which is why I took her in to get an upgrade to a bigger one. Oh yeah, also we can't even sell her wheelchair to put money towards the new one because it's owned by the NHS, which means that we have to give it back to the NHS. So yeah, in case anyone's going to comment that suggestion, no, we can't because we don't own it. It's rented. So basically, the only options we've got is whilst she still fits in her current wheelchair, she could get a power pack, which is £900. And they said if you have to get in and out of a car, you know, like a taxi, for example, you know, our only form of transport when Bob's not here, it's really heavy and I would struggle to lift it in and out, and it would just be taken off the wheelchair and put back on and everything, which obviously when you've got things to consider like taxis, they don't like waiting around, and it's like clamped. There's like bars that go like this along the back of Dawney's wheelchair that stops it tipping over, and it would connect between those two with clamps, so it'd have to be like screwed on and everything. So it's going to take at least like a good 5 minutes probably to get it on and off if it's like her other add-on parts, because the screws are really tight, because obviously they have to be, and then it would make it an electric wheelchair. So I would still push her. She wouldn't be able to self-control it, but it would take the pressure off me at least. However, Dawn Louise is not in a self-propelled wheelchair because she has to be able to rest as well. So she can't have a fully self-propelled one, and she can't, like, just didn't give her one that was self-propelled basically, because she could have had a self-propelled one that also had handlebars, but not the case this time. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is a proper rant one. Normally if I do videos like this, I'll like write out points to speak about, so I'm sorry you're getting the unfiltered version like my family do, where I ramble and get crossed in all my stories. But yeah, basically the only option is that, which is £900, and that would make it electric, so therefore I wouldn't struggle pushing it. But I would struggle paying for it, I can assure you that, because that is like nearly £1,000. Where do they think we're getting this kind of money from? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I don't know where they think that money's coming from, and I doubt they even do payment plans on this sort of thing so that I could get it now and pay for it and then pay it off instead of saving up for it first and her and I struggling in the meantime. But it won't make it self-propelled, which means, you know, when she goes to college or something, she would still have to be pushed around, and people just aren't aware of what it feels like to be pushed around by someone that you don't know or trust. So if it's like someone inexperienced or who's in a rush and doesn't want to do it and things like that, because we've had people be like that, then they're not always that kind about it. Like Dawn Louise doesn't want to be pushed at a really fast rate. It, you know, makes her feel unwell, and if you going over uneven surfaces and don't slow down, that's uncomfortable for her because it's shaking her all over the place. And when people tip the wheelchair, sometimes they don't realise how heavy it actually is and drop her. So it's hard to give somebody that control. It puts her in danger, you know? The other option would be an electric wheelchair that I'd have to self-fund, and I'm pretty sure they are like £1,000 to £2,000 minimum. Like, they aren't cheap. They just... it makes me so sad, and it's just adding to the mental stress of everything, because in 6 months' time she gets moved over to PIP, which is personal independence payment, which is what happens when they turn 16. And you might remember Sean, who has been on this channel over the last 5 years, who also has HLHS but is older than Dawn Louise, and she keeps getting turned down for it. And it's just crazy, because I know how much that girl struggles, and I know how much she wants to do work and all these other things, but can't. And yet she's having to go to tribunal court to get it, even though this condition never gets any better. And she's had more surgeries and everything, and it's really exhausting to know that this fight, whether it's medical or the paperwork side of it, just never ends for them. They're just fighting something all the time. And it's also now September. Donnie has already started coughing since going back to school, which doesn't seem like a big deal for most people, but chest infections and strep throat have put her in ambulances in hospital because she can't breathe properly. Her oxygen drops below 75 and she can't cope. Her body can't cope with that. So it's just like, I don't know how to make life easier for her when we're constantly getting turned down for help. We try to get her home to school transport like she had before, because she is really struggling with walking to school every day. Over the summer it got so hot that it was making her really sick, and she was clinging on to me for dear life as we were trying to walk home because she had no energy in her to do it. And they won't do it unless they get a specific letter to say that she cannot walk that far, which I have to get from the cardiologist, who has only known us in 2 visits. So I just don't really know how to keep fighting for her and have the energy to do it, because right now I've got to worry about preparing for PIP. Yes, it's 6 months away, but we have to make sure that we know what we're doing. So I have to start documenting her day-to-day life to make sure it's accurate now. So we've got preparation for PIP. We've got to sort out her homeschool transport. I've got to sort out this wheelchair thing and see if there is any way that we can get help with it. And then what else? She's got GCSEs coming up, so she's doing longer days at school because there's after school revision, which is cutting into her energy even more. The other day she went to bed at 7 p.m. She is in year 11. I don't have 11 fingers, but she's in year 11. She's 15 years old, 6 months away from 16, going to bed at 7 p.m. What other 15-year-olds do you know willingly take themselves off to bed at 7 p.m? It's just, it really is so hard. Like, I love Dawn Louise so much. She is the best thing that's ever happened to me. But I wish that I could take this pain and this struggle away from her. You know, for the most part, I am the one doing, you know, the paperwork side of things. But, like, she's the one that's got to mentally think about all the hospital appointments. Like, we've got so many coming up. I think we're going to have, like, 5 or 6 by the time they're actually done. It would have been 5 or 6 extra appointments and more time off school. And it's just, no one ever sees how much heart worry is. And because it's not just Dawny, like, I regularly speak to our other friends who have HLHS and HRHS, and it's just, they're all struggling so much, especially with school and, you know, accessibility. And, like, for example, we'd love to go and hang out with our friends, right? There's only one bus space for a wheelchair, which means that if Dawn Louise ever wanted to go out with her heart friends on public transport alone, like, obviously when she's older, she can't. And, like, that's something that no one thinks about. You know, that people moan about wheelchair users having that one spot, but, like, they can't even go out with their friends. Split 3. Split pace. Okay, apparently I have been talking for so long that my watch thinks that I'm walking. Like, we can't go on public transport with friends of ours who are also wheelchair users. Dawn Louise wouldn't be able to do a day out travelling at the same time with her friends because there's only one wheelchair spot on the bus. And it's just like that, they're things that people never thought. I never thought about it. This isn't like a dig at anyone. It's just so much awareness is needed for disabilities and HLHS and CHDs. It really, really is, because I didn't understand any of this before I had her. And obviously people might say, you know, that's because you had her at 16, but it's like, it's also not, because there's parents who are a lot older than me and have heart worriers. They also didn't know because they haven't walked this, because that's the thing about life. You only understand through the perspective that you've already lived. You know, we see life through the perspective of our own past experiences. I go out, I see a drop curve that's blocked, I get angry because I know how hard that's going to be for somebody in a wheelchair to get around, because I've been there. But other people, the people that park the cars, they don't realise what that's like. Like, I remember once I was trying to get Dawn Louise home from school. It was a 15-minute walk, if that. And it took us over an hour to get home because I think it was like 3 blocks in between the house and school, all of the blooming curbs were blocked by cars. And where it was on-street parking as well, that was blocked, and the side of the road. So we were just kind of trapped in a corner on both ends because everyone was picking up their kids and everything. So we're just walking around trying to figure out how the hell we're going to get home. And it's just like, thankfully that's only ever happened the once. It's never been quite that severe since. But I really do wish that people would just listen. When someone tells you how much they struggle with their disability, doesn't matter if you've got it too. Doesn't matter if you knew someone that's got it. Everyone's different. Everyone has their own set of accessibility needs. And it would be really nice if when somebody voices what their struggles are, that people listen and the world could change. And I think that is the biggest thing that keeps me going on this channel, is I want to see it change. I want to see people with HLHS being born without their parents planning funerals instead of first birthdays and baby showers. I want to see kids go to school and know that they're going to be safe and taken care of and understood and not belittled, put down, judged, have their colour ripped apart by teachers and students alike. I want to have a world where my daughter isn't only comfortable when she's at home with her family who understand her. I want to know that if she goes to nursery, she goes to school, she goes to college, that she's going to have her needs met, she's going to be understood, she's going to have something normal. And I want to see it change. I want people to start listening and understanding what this life is like. And I want to stop hearing, can't she just have a heart transplant? I want people to understand that that is just swapping one set of problems for another. And I want to get the awareness out there so that one day we have the funding so that kids like mine don't struggle. And I know that that is not going to happen in the time that Dawn Louise will need it. But my God, I really hope that 20 odd years from now, for example, I really hope that when families are living the life that we are, they are not living it this way. I really hope that one day there is a cure, there is a way to protect them, there is a way to make their lives more like they should be, because these are children giving up their entire childhoods to hospitals, medication, surgeries, constant battles, lack of accessibility, lack of understanding, lack of funding. Like, the list goes on and on and on, and I'm tired. I've got to be honest, I'm tired. I'm tired of the constant fight that this actually is, because I know in about 3 odd years, Dawn Louise is going to be the one having to fight this alone. And one of the reasons that I haven't done my MEAT series, which if you've been on here for a while with us, you'll know we used to do every year. One of the reasons I haven't done it is because, honestly, turning 30, I'm now 32, but turning 30 was one of the hardest days of my life, because it suddenly clicked to me that there's a chance that my daughter might actually outlive me. So I had been told over and over again that Dawnie was terminally ill, that she wasn't going to make it to this age, this age, this age, and they kept slowly pushing it back, but, you know, it still stayed really low. They'd prepared me for saying goodbye to my daughter over and over again. What no one had ever prepared me for was what happens if I go first. Because who's going to look after her then? Who is going to understand her needs enough to fight for her the way that I have had to? And that is why I haven't done my MEAT over the last couple of years, because I suddenly kind of came to the realisation that my own mortality is catching up on me. Like, I'm only 32, I'm still pretty young, you know? But my daughter's 15 and doing quite well, and my health has started going downhill over the last couple of years as well, and it's just kind of accumulated to me realising that if something happens to me, she's gonna have to fight all this alone, and that makes me so incredibly upset, because if I struggle to fight these things on her behalf and I feel this mentally exhausted from it, how is she going to cope fighting for her own needs when she literally has half of the energy and a lot less of the oxygen that I have to concentrate and deal with everything? Like, she needs so much more sleep than I do. How is she going to cope with the sleepless nights, putting together file after file to fight these sort of things? And it's just hard. This life is really hard, and I want to see it get slightly easier for Dawn Louise, and this has been a really tough month, and it's just, it seems to always be this way. Like, there will always be like a collection of things that will blow up in your face at once, and right now we're dealing with all of the hospital appointments, affording getting to Birmingham, staying in Birmingham if we have to for some of them, and everything like that. And then there's fighting for the school help that she needs, trying to get her teachers to understand her illness when they see her look so normal and healthy and happy, because they don't know what to look for. And then wheelchair on top of it. And then amongst all that, I'm worrying about, can I give her the opportunities that she's well enough right now to have, because I know all too well 5 years from now she might not be well enough for them. So I want to make sure that she's doing all these things. And like before the summer she was doing musical theatre and she was loving it, and then she had a week where she started to get really unwell. If you watched when she did her work experience, we showed her oxygen started going down to 72%, and then the week after it started dripping down to 60, which is really low. Thankfully it wasn't there longer than 5 minutes, so we didn't have to call an ambulance, but we could see how tired she was. And she went to heart camp, and we didn't know that they were going to be doing a memorial for a heart warrior who unfortunately has passed away, who was the same age as her. And on the day when they had this memorial, she starts getting bombarded with messages that were not very kind from this musical theatre group, because she wanted to check that she could still do the show, because she wasn't well enough, really. You know, her oxygen was getting really low, she was getting really tired, and we were umming and ahhing whether to send her to camp, but they had a paramedic there, so it was safe for her to be there. It was probably safer for her to be with them than it was us, to be honest, in case something did happen. But no one thinks about that's the life that she's living. And the teacher found out about the text during the lesson, because all the kids had gone and said stuff and everything, completely twisted what she had said, because I saw the messages myself. And instead of coming to me as an adult to talk about it and figure out what's going on, she told them to tell her that she would just have to figure it out. She has to be there. And it's like this teacher knew that Dawnie was terminally ill. I told her over and over again. So she knew full well that anything could change at any moment. Did she put an understudy there? No. So she tried to claim that, you know, everyone's stressed because of the show, but it's like, why didn't you have an understudy to begin with? Why did you put her into a show that she didn't audition for, because she knew she wasn't going to be well enough to commit to it fully? I mean, thankfully she did commit to it fully, but she was worried that she wouldn't be able to, so she never auditioned for it. They never spoke to us about why she didn't audition for it. They never said that they would put her in it anyway. We didn't find out until she was given a script. And she was so excited about it that I was, because she'd been given her first solo piece, that I was like, okay, we're just going to make this work. But there's only so much I can do. I can't control her oxygen levels. I can't control when she's going to get sick. I can't control if something really terrible happens with her, because we know what could happen with this condition. I don't even want to say it out loud. But this teacher knew that she was terminally ill, and yet just made it so much worse that Louise couldn't go back, because she knows that she's getting sicker. And she doesn't want to let anyone down. And I hate that people have made her feel like her health is a burden to them, like it isn't to her. She deserves better. Like, she is honestly the sweetest person I have ever known. You know, she is such a kind soul. She is there for anyone who will let her be. And she is the funniest, most creative person that I know. And she can make a whole room laugh in seconds. And she can take any sort of heaviness in the air out with just one smile. Like, she just makes life so much better. And she brings joy to so many people. Like, it's not even just me. Like, today, when I dropped her off at school, she was being her normal silly self, facing the camera, waving around, and the receptionist came out from behind her desk, came out the doors, and came to wave to her as well. And it's like, she is someone special, you know. And I know I'm so unbiased, but she really is. And I just hate that she constantly gets treated poorly simply because people don't understand her illness. And it's really hard as a parent to watch your child get, like, berated for something she can't control. Oh God, I'm crying on the internet. Oh no, I didn't realise I was going to be that become that kind of huge. It just, you know, it really does hurt, to be honest. It hurts thinking about how poorly she gets treated, whether it's in schools, because she's moved around schools enough, you know, whether it's in schools, after school clubs, like her guide leader just doesn't get it at all, and I just don't think she even believes what I'm telling her. So instead of trying to learn and do her own research, she just treats her poorly. And I don't know how to I don't know how to make people listen. I can stand there and I can go through folders of, you know, leaflets and hospital letters and everything. I can sit there and I can tell you everything about her, but if you look at her and think that doesn't add up and you don't believe me, she's the one that suffers from it. And she's, like I said, she's going to be 18 in 3.5 years, which is going to come around so fast, you know, and she's going to have to advocate for herself, and I just don't know how she's going to do it, because I have all of the gusto to go and fight these battles, you know, and I can list off her medical history like it's a shopping list at this point, but she shouldn't have to. She shouldn't have to fight this hard. And like with the girl guide and things, since I keep bringing it up, they're preparing to do trips and activities and everything, and she's flicking through the activity book and it's just, can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that. She finally found one thing that she could do, and she said, oh, you know, this is what we've chosen. And they go, are you sure that's a group decision? And it's like, she's never going to be part of that group decision. I can't speak. She's never going to be part of that group decision, is she? Because she can't do any of the other things, the other activities, she can't do them. So it's unfair because she's singled out for only being able to do that one thing. But no one, like, it's just, I just want her life to be easier. That's it. That's all I want. I just want her to be able to say, this is my condition, and have someone listen and understand, or at least try to, and not just be like, well, I don't see you struggling enough, so I'm going to pretend you're making the whole thing up. Because that's what it's like for us. You know, people think that we're making it up, instead of realising that, no, it really is this hard. It really, really is this hard all the time. And we have to fight for everything. Like, I went into a school recently and I asked for a certain accommodation, which I'm not going to get into because we share a lot on here, but there are some things that we don't. And this is one of the things that we don't. But I asked for a certain accommodation to be made. And they asked me if I haven't got it from other sources, other services. And I go, no. And I explained why. And they didn't believe me. And the explanation is, there's one that's under a heart hospital and there's one that's not. And the one that's not says, you've got to go to the heart hospital. The heart hospital says, no, you've got to go to them, because they're saying it's not enough about a heart, and they're saying it is too much of the heart-related stuff. So then I'm left doing it all on my own again. So it's just exhausting. It's just exhausting. That's the only way I can explain it. It's exhausting, and obviously she is so amazing that it's worth it. It always has been and always will be. But the thought that she's going to have to feel this, along with all the struggles that she has day to day with her health, that's what's hurting me right now, because I don't know how to help her learn how to advocate for herself with the energy that she's got. And like this is exactly why, like, I have no like mum friends that aren't heart mum friends, because you just can't understand it until you've lived through it. And you know, we've got heart friends who are even worse than Dawn Louise's right now, and her mum, oh my god, she is a bloody superstar. Like, if there's any woman in this world that I would look up to, it would be this woman's mum, right? This girl's mum. Because I don't want to say too much because I don't want to embarrass her, but she is one of the most incredible humans I have ever met. Her ability to constantly fight for her child and advocate for her is like something I've never seen, and she always wins, which is just even more insane. Like, she's the first person that I go to for advice, because this woman is just a fucking force to be reckoned with, because she is one of the most mentally strong women I have ever known. And as someone who does struggle with fighting these sort of things constantly, and knows how hard that must be for her as well, and bearing in mind she's dealing with bigger medical effects now as well than even Dawn Louise has, this woman is just bloody incredible. And honestly, I don't know how she does it. I've been ranting for half an hour now, which I think is more than enough, and I don't even know if any of this made any sense, to be honest, because this is probably the most unhinged conversation I've had on here yet, because I haven't bullet pointed anything. I have just spilled what's going on in my brain right now, because my brain, on the wall, you know, it's struggling. But on that note, I am actually going to go make myself something to eat, because it's 2:14. Dawney's got revision, so she's at school longer today, and I am bloody exhausted. So I'm going to go have myself a nice bit of cheese on toast. I think I deserve some cheese. Cheese is my version of chocolate. And Dawn Louise's, actually, she's obsessed with cheese. So if you know anywhere that I could take a kid for like a cheese testing, please let me know in the comments below. Actually, I could really do with your help. I've planned something huge for her 16th birthday, which, with everything going on, I am not going to be able to afford, in all honesty, which is heartbreaking, because I've been planning it for 3 years, but the funds weren't there to save for it. So I was hoping that, you know, this year, you know, I'd be able to do it. It's not going to happen. There's no way it's going to happen. There's just way too much going on. So I need to come up with another idea, which is a little bit hard, because I was told that she wasn't going to survive to 13. So for her 13th birthday, I took her on holiday 3 times in 1 month to 3 different places, because I wanted to celebrate that big. We needed to, as a family, make that milestone memorable for the right reasons. And you can go watch those vlogs if you want to see some chaotic travelling every weekend. It was a really good time. We did 2 different Haven sites and Centre Parks, and it was our first and only time going to Centre Parks, and it was amazing. But anyway, now I've got to come up with another plan for her sweet 16, which is like one of the biggest birthdays, and I cannot believe that my daughter's going to be 16 for a multitude of different reasons, as you can imagine. But I need some ideas, because I've got some ideas, but you can't book them yet. So I'm worried that if I can't actually book it, then I'm going to be like left with no idea. So I need help, please. But yeah, I'm going to go cry into some cheese on toast, most likely. And I will be back with you soon when I look more normal again. But yes, Dawney's got her after school clubs today. You know, the ones that I've just been talking really badly about. So yeah. It's gonna be a long day. I'll see you in a bit.